Welcome to Vacuum Wars, and to our review of the Roborock QRevo S robot vacuum. It's a robot vacuum mop combo from one of the best-selling brands out there, but it's being sold at almost half the cost of the top-of-the-line Roborocks like the QRevo Master or QRevo Max V. So what's the catch? Why is the QRevo S so much less expensive than the top-of-the-line versions? I bought one and put it through all kinds of tests to find out, and in this video I'll go over the pros and cons and see if in the end a robot vacuum in this price range can make the Vacuum Wars Top 20 Robot Vacuum list. So links in the description and let's get started. The Roborock QRevo S is a robot vacuum mop combo that has an auto empty bin that washes and dries the mop pads and has obstacle avoidance. So as far as the basics, it has pretty much everything that the more expensive ones do. In fact, it's one of the cheapest robot vacuums I've seen that has all of those characteristics. Starting off with the pros, the QRevo S is as good or better than the more expensive versions when it comes to the basics of picking up debris from the surfaces of hard floors and carpets. The QRevo uses a single main brush roller in a floating housing and a single side brush to sweep up debris, and like most Roborocks I've tested, it was really good at picking up debris on both hard floors and carpets. As far as raw power goes, the QRevo S had above average airflow and well above average crevice pickup test results. It had pretty much the same scores as the higher-end QRevo Max V in terms of suction power, and it got the exact same score as the QRevo Max V in the deep clean test. In fact, when you add up just the raw power and practical performance results, the QRevo S did slightly better than both the QRevo Max V and QRevo Master, even though I would say that all three of those are pretty good. Another big pro is its mopping system. It uses two spinning mop pads, which have electronically controlled water dispensing, and in our new dried-on stain test, it got a 116 out of 176, which is above average, and again about the same as the QRevo Max V, and better than the Tinko electric mop we tested. Also, its two mop pads lift up automatically when the robot senses carpet, which allows you to vacuum and mop houses with a mixture of hard floors and carpets in the same run, which is very important. Another huge pro is its multifunction docking station, where when the robot returns to its bin to recharge, it automatically empties the contents of its dustbin into a disposable bag. It also washes and dries its mop pads and refills its mop tank. But this is where we start to see some feature differences between the QRevo S and the higher-end models. For example, the QRevo S does not have the so-called flexi-arm mopping system that automatically extends for better edge cleaning like the QRevo Max V and QRevo Master have. The S version also does not use hot water to wash its mop pads like the other two do, just cold water. While all three of them wash their mop pads, the Master version also cleans its own base, where the other two don't, though they do have a removable tray for manual deep cleaning. The Master and the Max V also have a sensor in the station that can tell how dirty the mop water is, and it will initiate more mop pad washings when needed, where the S version does not have this sensor. Basically, as far as mopping related features go, the QRevo S has everything you need, but not a lot of the extra optional stuff that the higher end models have. Its mobile app was a pro. It has most of the features that the other Roborocks do. The app itself is easy to use and has above average scores on the iOS and Android platforms. Another pro is its navigation. It uses a top-mounted LiDAR sensor to make a map and navigate around your house. It made a map of our floor plan in about 5 minutes and was efficient with good coverage. We do several test runs on several power settings and found that its navigation efficiency was above average, about the same as the QRevo Master. It had the same official battery life of 180 minutes as the other two, and it had virtually the same above average battery efficiency score in our test, as well as averaging about 1,268 square foot per charge, again very similar to the Master. It can't all be good stuff though, so let's move on to the cons. For me, the biggest con was its obstacle avoidance. The QRevo Master and Max V use a front-mounted camera as well as 3D structured light for their obstacle avoidance, where the QRevo S only uses 3D structured light without a camera. And like with the original QRevo, which also didn't use a camera, its obstacle avoidance is pretty bad. In fact, it's tied with the original QRevo for the worst score I've seen on our obstacle avoidance test. This is compared to the QRevo Master and QRevo Max V, which both have above average scores with their obstacle avoidance. To be fair, obstacle avoidance is a relatively new feature, and most robot vacuums didn't have it until recently, so it's not like you need it, but if you have the QRevo S, you should probably pick up the clutter in your house before vacuuming, in my opinion. Related to it not having a camera, it doesn't have a lot of the features that require a camera, like video calling crews, pet snaps, and search for the pet that are on the Max V and Master. In fact, many of the major new Roborock features are not available on the QRevo S. For example, it does not have the flexi arm automatically extending side brush that is on the Master but not the Max V, or the Hello Rocky virtual assistant. So the big story for me with the Roborock QRevo S is the price. It has some of the most features I've seen at this price, though not as many features as the top of the line models, and for all practical purposes, you should assume that it doesn't have obstacle avoidance. But it is a lot of bang for the buck, and it's extremely good where it counts, that is, vacuuming and mopping floors at a high level with a very solid multifunction dock. So where does the Roborock QRevo S land on the Vacuum Wars Top 20 list? As of the time of making this video, it's ranking number 8, and it's by far the cheapest robot vacuum in the top 10, and so it's probably no surprise that it's also one of Roborock's best sellers. Links in the description, and be sure to subscribe to Vacuum Wars before you leave. Thanks for watching. All of the links in the description are updated regularly to reflect our current favorite vacuums in multiple categories. You'll also find links to the Vacuum Wars website in the description, where we have more detailed lists of our favorite products, like our new top 20 robot vacuums list, which is updated weekly.